Should people who are overweight be denied access to hip and knee replacement surgery? A decision's been made by the NHS North Yorkshire and York Primary Care Trust to use factors like obesity and smoking when assessing patients for surgery. But is it fair? In a moment, we'll be talking to the founder of a group which says it's discriminatory and consider a person's size when making this sort of decision, and also to a woman from Filey who's lost 6 stone after experiencing problems with an arthritic knee. First, though, let's hear what Dr. David Geddes, the medical director at the NHS North Yorkshire and York, has to say about this decision.
Part of the reason why we want to introduce these changes is because we are aware that there is evidence that has been out there for some time that patients will gain more effective outcomes from their surgery if they are fitter for surgery at the time when they're having the operation. There has been a study in London that identified that people who are overweight are much more likely to stay in hospital at the time of a knee or a hip replacement for several days longer than the average for someone who isn't overweight. So we know that there's been some evidence for some time which has identified a benefit in having people who are approaching surgery, getting fitter for surgery prior to having their operation.
Well, listening to that was Fatima Parker, who's the founder of the UK and Middle East branch of the International Size Acceptance Association. She joins us live on the telephone from Dubai. Fatima, good morning.
Good morning, Blair.
What's your reaction to what you've just heard David Geddes say?
I think if the patients were fit, they wouldn't need to go to hospital at all, and they wouldn't stay any length of time. But blaming everything on obesity and really darkening the image of fat people all over the world is counterproductive, and it's not going to be something that would help from a psychological point of view and even the physical health of the patient.
But it is a fact, isn't it, that size in this case does matter. The larger you are, the less fit you're generally perceived to be. But actually, the longer...
yes.
But the longer your recuperation, though, and that's what Dr. Geddes is saying.
The thing is, there is a love-hate relationship between doctor and patient, especially with fat people. Many of us wouldn't go to the doctor of fear of getting lectured and discriminated against. And the answers, I mean, I have surveys from all over the world that patients, when they go to the doctor and they're overweight, they are always told you get better if you lose weight. All your problems are due to your weight.
But in many cases, that is the case, isn't it?
It isn't, because the thing is, we are not allowed to be sick. If you are a normal so-called size patient and you have arthritis in your knees, you'll be treated with respect and with a lot of compassion. And if you're fat, you'll be beaten with a stick, saying it's your fault that you have arthritis in your knees.
Do we have an obsession with people being overweight in this country?
Not only not only in this country, but all over the world. It is a goose that lays diamonds every day to have this fat fear and fat phobia and getting people to lose weight. If the methods that have been used for over 50 years have worked, we wouldn't get an obesity crisis, and we wouldn't have people that are suffering. The obese people are getting miserable. The people in the middle are struggling and dieting and killing themselves with pills and stuff. And the thin people are scared to get fat because the image of fat is horrible.
But we have an issue with weight, don't we? I mean, let's leave aside the medical conditions which could cause people to get larger, because that's as I say, a medical issue. But for those who are large purely because they overeat and don't exercise, there is a big medical issue with this, isn't there? And surely the doctors should have a responsibility and do take that responsibility in getting us to lose weight.
Yeah, it's not getting us to lose weight. It's getting us to have a healthy lifestyle. First of all, by giving us self-esteem back. It's this push of concentrating on weight loss that is the wrong method of going about it. Because you can get people to lose weight. We've been hearing this message now for, as I said, 40, 50 years. My personal experience is 40 years trying to lose weight, and I'm fatter than when I started 40 years ago. Why is that? I mean, this is the thing that we have to change if we want a healthy nation, especially for our children and the future of our nation, is to change the message. Get people to educate themselves on eating, have self-respect, love your body, care for your body, exercise and eat healthy for health's sake, not to lose weight and to be a size 0.
Should it be the same for smokers? Are smokers being too unfairly discriminated against?
The thing is, I am not specialised in really defending smokers, but from what I see and have seen for so many years, smoking has been the sex, the excitement, the orgasm, the everywhere, product placement, so smoke, and now they're devils and evil people. So, blaming the victim again.
But is that not the same perception again of fat people?
It's not the same. We need to eat. Smoking, it's not necessary. But eating food is important.
It's a very interesting debate, isn't it? Listen, thank you so much, Fatima. It's a great pleasure to have you on the programme. That's Fatima Parker joining me on the programme. Fatima, who is the founder of the UK and Middle East branches of the International Size Acceptance Association. I want to move on to talk to a lady, my second guest, who has actually lost 6 stone in weight. Rita Beckett from Filey is currently at her slimming group where she is being awarded the Biggest Loser accolade. How are you?
Hello, I'm fine, thank you.
Fine and slim.
Well, yes, a lot slimmer than I was, yeah.
Well, congratulations. I mean,
Thank you very much.
It must be, with all the television programmes and hype about weight and losing weight, for you to have been there and done it, Rita, must be an absolute joy.
Yes, it's taken, well, just over a year, but I wouldn't say it's not been really hard. It's just, well, with me, it's stopping eating chocolates and bread and that type of stuff.
Mind you, losing 6 stone in a year is going some.
Yeah, well, yeah, I've done very well, yes.
What made you decide to lose the weight in the first place?
Well, it was back December 2009 when I went to the doctors because I had arthritis in my right knee and I could hardly walk at all. I was with a stick and really in a lot of pain, so I went. And she said, well, in the future I would need a knee replacement, but I wouldn't get one because the surgeon at the hospital was against people who were overweight. He didn't operate on people who were overweight. So I went home and said, well, I'll have to try and do something about this. So I had a friend who belonged to the slimming group, so I joined. And from then on, that's what's happened, yeah.
So you were actually told by your GP you need to lose the weight before you can have the operation?
Well, she just said that I wouldn't get the operation because I was overweight. She didn't give me any advice about losing weight or anything. That was all she said, which I think you could do with a bit more support when you've got to lose weight.
How did that affect you? Because you've got an issue with your knees, and no doubt in great pain. At the same time, I guess, did you know at the time, or did you feel at the time that you had an issue with your weight?
Oh, yeah, obviously, yeah. I was obese. I was, way overweight.
And then someone turns around to you and says, I'm sorry, you're too fat for surgery.
That's right, yeah. I think it was the wake-up call probably I needed, really, So I just decided. I mean, must admit, at Christmas I ate as though food was going out of fashion. Yeah. And then afterwards I started at the swimming group and... it's been fine.
I want to bring Fatima back in to talk about that, Fatima, because, I mean, this is a great example, isn't it, of someone who has had experience of a doctor saying, look, I'm sorry, you're too big. You're not going to get the operation at the size you are.
This is, we've heard it all. We've heard it from the doctors. I think it's aggressive. I'm happy for Rita to have, as she says, woken up and paid attention to her health and stopped eating all the things that were not necessary for nutrition. But we're putting on the weight or giving her extra calories that are empty and non-essential. But the way that things should be is for compassion and for understanding. If I go to the doctor, I'm in pain, and as a fat person, it's really the last resort. I take my life in my hands because knowing I'm going to be lectured. So if the doctor is caring and he's interested in my health, we both work together on improving my health. The problem sometimes is not people eating a lot of sweets and fatty foods. There are many cases that come through to us of people who have put on weight as a side effect. It is they have other issues. There are other diseases that fat is a side effect. So if we're going to treat the symptom and leave the cause, you're killing the patient.
Rita, was it the case with you that you were just eating the wrong type of food?
Well, yeah, I'm sure it was. But I'd like to say, since I have lost this weight, my knee, I hardly get any pain in it at all, and I can walk for miles where I couldn't walk before. So it has helped my knee a lot.
See, that's the other thing, Rita, Fatima, isn't it? That you take the pressure off, you lose the weight, you're not putting the pressure on the joints, so actually the surgery becomes unnecessary.
Of course it does, because she has lost the weight, yes, but she has exercised, she's swimming, she's made her bones and her muscles stronger, her body is stronger now, and she feels better, and then she can walk and exercise. If you get people who are overweight and have knee problem or joint problems, and you tell them you're not getting the operation because we want to, save money for the NHS, I would say that it's false economy, because these people are going to be restricting their activity even more, and they'll be sedentary, and from the 30 BMI, which is supposed to be an obesity, level for not operating you, we're going to get 65 and 70 BMI.
But had Rita's GP said to her, yes, no problem, we'll operate next month, they would have carried out an operation that, as far as Rita was now concerned, appears unnecessary and therefore wasted money.
Right,
so actually that was a much more responsible attitude to say, lose the weight and then we'll look at it again.
The thing, Blair, is I don't want to get into, really criticising the doctors. I don't want to criticise the doctors. No. As I said to you, every patient who is fat, and especially the fatter you get, the easier it gets for the doctor. Because I'm giving you here witnesses from people all over the world, here in Dubai and all over the world. I'm going on television in Saudi Arabia next week to talk about the same thing. The thing is, the doctor takes it for granted, and I have personal experience. The doctor sees you fat, you've got problems in your knees, even if the X-ray shows that there is a degeneration in the knees, they'll tell you you have osteoarthritis because you're fat, go and lose weight. They'll send you to the hospital says you're too fat, you cannot get the operation. I had the same thing, and I found out after doing a lot of research that I had plantar fasciitis, which is a problem with the feet that was pulling on the knees, and that was giving me trouble. When I solved the problem with the feet, now I'm walking with no problem at all, without having lost any weight. So please, I want to say to the doctors, give more attention to the fat patient, give them the same diagnostic methods that you do with thin people. So you'll save money on the NHS, you'll save money for the nations, and you'll save the nation.
Rita, how's it been for you? I mean, clearly you've been losing the weight over the year, but before that, how were you regarded by your GP? Or did you not go until you had the knee problem?
I didn't go until the knee got so bad that I had to go because I could hardly walk on it. But going back to the fact that I could have had this operation, as you said, because I lost weight, I must have saved the money because I don't need an operation anymore. So they should do that option first, I should think. Try to get people to lose weight.
So see
if it affects your knee after that,
You agree with the lose weight first and then we'll look at it again?
Yeah, I think so, yeah. I mean, sometimes, obviously, if you've lost weight, you might still have the same problem. But fortunately, I haven't. So,
but that's the problem, and Fatima, I think this is your point as well, isn't it? It's that if there is a problem with in this case, your knee or your hip, and there is a significant problem that won't be solved by losing weight, it's another year. Well, Rita, in your case, it would have been another year down the line, wouldn't it?
It would,
and another year of pain, and then you would have gone back, and she said, oh well, yeah, all right, we'll operate now.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
I suppose, Fatima, at the end of the day, it's a fine line, isn't it, really?
It is. But I think if we change the attitude and we get people to feel happier and more accepted in society, they can go out, they can walk, they can go and exercise and swim without feeling ashamed that you're fat and you're looking ugly in a swimsuit, or you don't belong in an exercise room or something like that. You're not, you don't isolate yourself, and then you don't want to feel like connect looks and acceptability in society with your health. Getting fit and getting healthy is good for your health. It has nothing to do with beauty. You have people who are beautiful, fat and beautiful, and you have people who are thin and not beautiful. But connecting the two together, you really destroy people's self-esteem.
Rita, how much support have you had over the last 12 months in North Yorkshire?
Well, I've had the support from the slimming group, which has been very good. I would never have done it without them, and also my husband, because he's lost weight as well at the same time. So that's where I've got the support from. friends, family, and the group.
And you're being awarded the Biggest Loser accolade?
Yeah, I am today.
Fantastic. What are you going to get?
I have no idea, because the group is just starting, actually. She's just doing the weigh-ins and things, so I don't know. I believe it's a plant or something, I think.
And what about you as a person now? I mean, you said just then that your husband was losing weight as well.
Yeah.
Are you Fatima, I know, was saying it's about being happy with yourself, frankly. As long as you have a healthy diet, it's about being happy with you. Are you happy now, Rita, or are you going to continue to try to lose weight?
Well, I would ideally like to lose another stone, but I am happy with what I've done now anyway, and it's a struggle now. I mean, some weeks I put a pound on, then I lose a pound and what have you. But I am happy as I am now, yeah. I can go into shops, any shop, and I know there's clothes now that fit me.
Yeah.
Whereas before I only had a choice of about 2 shops.
Real boost in your confidence, I guess.
Oh, yes, it is,
Fabulous.
Yeah.
Well, congratulations, and thanks for joining me on the programme. All right, Rita Beckett, the Biggest Loser in North Yorkshire from Filey. Fatima, Rita's is a good story. She's very happy with where she is now, although she says she wants to lose a bit more. It is about being confident, isn't it, with yourself?
Yes, and as she said, she only had 2 shops, and now she has the whole high street. So I hope that there's possibility that we'll have at least half of the high street, so we'll all feel confident. I just hope that, I mean, it sounds to me like taking a year to lose that weight is okay, not losing it in a few months because she'll put the weight back on. Now she has to concentrate on loving herself, accepting her body, and looking after her body, and not thinking about losing 1 pound, putting on back on, and so on. This is yo-yo dieting, and it's very unhealthy. And when she finishes with the Slimming Club, she has to concentrate on loving herself and carrying on with the healthy lifestyle, not weight loss, goals.
Do you think the mindset of GPs will be altered more in the direction that you want them to go, or do you think it will be a constant struggle?
For now, yeah. You see, in America, they have a knee operation on very obese patients, up to 400 pounds. So I don't want people to get to 400 and 300 pounds and things like that. But what we would like to do is not to discriminate. If you are in pain, get help. Maybe, as I said, not start the operation right away, but the doctor should give help to this patient. Try and find out maybe they have a lifestyle that is not very healthy. They'll help them with that, with therapy, with advice. We need to have groups like we do who concentrate on getting people to look after their health. We have a paradigm of health, not weight. Let's improve our health at whatever weight, and then the weight will come off by itself if we change our lifestyle.
Fatima, thank you. Enjoy your day. Thanks for coming on the programme.
Thank you very much.
All the best. Fatima Parker, founder of the UK and Middle East branches of the International Size Acceptance Association.
BBC Radio York.
Proud to be